Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Directorate, the car, and the panel. I hope I will take only 15 minutes. Yeah. So, I'm sorry suddenly, from the Arabic, you have to listen me. My name is Abid Yahya. I have done my PhD in wireless and mobile system. Basically, I'm from Pakistan, but currently I'm working in Africa and as a visiting lecturer in Malaysia and Indonesia. According to the quality, as today the topic was the quality and assurance, so I can say that without ICT, quality assurance has no meaning. So I'm trying, to link this topic with the quality assurance. The agenda is, I will discuss about the motivation and then the telemedicine terminology and telemedicine system and goals, key issues and challenges, and then recommendation and some of my ongoing projects, those my PhD students are doing. When we talk about the quality and safety of the documents and file and efficiency, the first thing comes in our mind is telemedicine. Some people are calling it telehealth, some are calling telemetry. So I will discuss only over here the telemedicine. Now directly I'm going to the definitions of telemedicine. When we talk about the telemedicines, one of the common definitions is the use of electronic information and communication technologies to provide and support health care when both the participants are far away. So it means it's a distance telehealth care system. Now I'm going very quickly. Telemedicine system, we have number of telemedicine systems. I just divide into two. One is the clinical, another one is academic. In the clinical we have teleconsultations, we have telediagnosis and teleradiology, etc. Now in this figure you can see that a patient is sitting in remote area, and first of all a specialist can see his or her medical record. Now after seeing the medical, now the patient has to start the diagnosing system. So in the diagnosing mode, now the specialist can diagnose, and now after diagnosing, this last part for him is the prescription. One of the participants, I think she was from Jordan, when they were saying about the prescription, sometimes it is difficult for the people to understand the writing, and sometimes they exceed the prescribed medicine. The dosage should be 20 milligram, but they exceed. So if we have the database and the medicines are there, so the doctor should not be worried. He or she can click the medicine from there, and the dosage will be there already in the database. So the doctor should not be worried. So there will be no conflict in this issue. Now for me, being an educationist, telemedicine has big role in the tele-education. For example, if you take the car, in the car, now if the doctors want to train their staff, the nurses, it is difficult for them to send them. So tele-education is very important. They can organize the conferences, they can organize the workshop. Even the workshop now we are doing here, it can be telecasted all over the Iraq. And one of the Dr. Asad, he is working on this website. So we have to create issues like this, and the medical universities, they can take advantage from this data which is available in the hospitals. So it is good for the research as well. It is good for the survey. This is the way you can improve your healthcare system. Then we can say that the medical emergencies, sometimes in the war, you cannot reach there. So if you have the mobile ambulance, you can have the access over there. The last one is telesurgery, which is one of my ongoing project. I will quickly discuss about that as well in my last slide. There are a number of challenges. It's not an easy, you can suddenly implement telemedicine anywhere in the hospitals, because sometimes they have the database, but non-professional people, they make it the database, but after sometimes they cannot improve the database. They cannot do the changes. So again, their database is obsolete for them. Same, the infrastructure issues. You have to do the networking in such a way that it can be easily enhanced for the future. This is what, I mean, we call it planning. And the sensitive thing for me is that the patient data, sometimes, I mean, they can easily, the people can retrieve the data because of the non-secure softwares. Now, we can see what are the goals. I mean, I'm quickly going, I mean, you can increase the accessibility of and to professional caregivers and high patient and provider satisfaction, increase the focus on, this is very important, increase the focus on the preventive medicine through early intervention. So it is one of the major advantages in telemedicine, and then reduce the overall cost, not from the patient side. I mean, even, I mean, the hospitals, if, I mean, they want to reduce the cost, they can do by this, by telemedicine. They can hire less specialists, which can work all over, I mean, in this province. Then the training and education we already discussed, providing services to remote areas, to the villages. So, I mean, those who cannot come remotely, you can access them, I mean, to your polyclinics. From here, the specialists can. And then remote monitoring. Monitoring is very important. I mean, the continuous monitoring is very important, how to monitor your patient when it is far away from you. The other issues are with the devices. If you have the medical devices over there, I mean, just like you can see, I mean, the mobile, they have the interference and noise. How you can, I mean, get rid from these things? The MRI, I mean, the other CT scan machines, and then the hardware, and then some of the hospitals, they have internet-based already software, but their management are not good to how to use it and how to take advantage 100% from those things. Video conferencing. Video conferencing is the core issue in telemedicine. Now, what is happening in video conferencing, it is difficult for us to upload the video. For example, if I can say my internet is not working here well, so you don't need to upload. Now, what is the important thing is there are a few softwares you can share. Okay, for example, one is in the Dakar and another is in the Baghdad. Now, the doctors, both they want to see the same video simultaneously, so they have to share it rather than upload. The software, I have the list, all these free softwares, so they can share. They can share the desktop, they can share the presentation while they are in real-time video conferencing. So they can also access their database, which they call it usually PAC, Picture Archiving and Communication System, where you are having your X-rays report, your CT scan reports, your oh my God, okay. So I'm going very quickly. A few of the recommendation, 1 minute for Iraq, 1 minute from Pakistan, so make it 2 minutes. So one important thing which I want to highlight here, the tracking system. In the hospitals, the major problem is happening to track the equipments as well as the patient. So now you can consider that you are in the airport, the hospital is like an airport, and your patient is the aeroplane. So you will be having a database and you will be having a screen in the OT, and the patient will be wearing RFID. So you can see the pre-operation and post-operation, the status of the patient on the screen. And this is transparency. You can see it, that when the patient in, when the patient out, and only you have to scan their bar. And you can see the delay, and the surgeon can prepare themselves. The other things, it's not going to too much things. This is the one of my ongoing project, telesurgical robot system. Why it is different from the available one? Emulator means we can train the surgeons offline before they are going for the real-time surgery. So it is, the robot will be in Nasiriyah and the surgeon is in Baghdad. So from Baghdad, the surgeon can operate here. And in this system, we are having sensors, so that so those sensors will understand and they will accumulate by self. So this is one of the major, one of my project. Now, I mean, now the